Warning: the following podcast, which contains strong language and mature content, is unsuitable for children or for the faint of heart. The subject matter discussed will be frightening and graphic in nature. Listener discretion is advised.
When you wanna hear about the paranormal, you get the Spooked Girls. True crime that makes you hypothermal. With the three Spooked Girls, stabby snippets will give you dreams. Tara and Jessica will make you along with the Spooked Girls. Bring on the slaughter, we on that haunted ground. Spooked Girls. The three Spooked Girls.
Hey Spooksters, and welcome back to another episode here on Three Spooked Girls. My name is Tara, and as always, I'm here with my ghoul friend Jessica.
Hello.
Hello. And today we are bringing you another state urban legend episode, and today we are headed over to Oregon. But before we get started, if you are new here, hello, welcome. Thank you for checking out the show. Returning Spooksters, welcome back. And if you're not hanging out with us on social media, go find us on all of the places. We're on Facebook, Instagram, Threads. Our handle is at Three Spooked Girls. We also have a Facebook group that's super active. That's Three Spooked Girls Official. And we announced last week we do have a second show starting. It is Social Seance Society. We're going to be talking to different people every week. It's going to be more society and culture, so definitely check it out. We have some early links below. Closer to time, we'll be on all the places, but for now, we have YouTube and a couple other things set up for you guys. And if you're a reader, you can join our book club, which is Spookster Literary Society. We have 2 books that we're reading for December. One is The Christmas Party, which was a thriller, and then the other one is Lilith. Our meeting's actually kind of close. It's on the 15th, so definitely check that out if you want to join us over there. And if you'd like to support the show, you can go to patreon.com/Three Spooked Girls or the link tree in the show notes. For as little as $1, you get 1 bonus episode a month. At 5 and up, get ad-free episodes the day before and other fun stuff throughout the year. So definitely check that out if you like. But that's all I got. So we're going to go ahead and get into our urban legends for Oregon. Okay, so when I was looking for urban legends to make my list today, I also found a list of some cryptids besides Bigfoot. So I'm going to tell you about those guys really quickly. So, of course, we're going to have one that's going to be similar to Loch Ness Monster. They have one called Colossal Claude.
Oh.
Right? And he's like, in the picture I saw, he was like orange, but you know. So he's a giant sea serpent reportedly spotted on the Columbia River bar. He's 40 feet long. He has a big round body, a long tail, and a horse-like head.
So he is seahorse.
Yes. And the first people ever to report seeing Colossal Claude was a lightship tender. According to multiple people on the boat, Claude swam around them. The monster eventually slipped back into the water and out of sight. It's said that he is pretty curious, coming out of the water every couple of decades to spy on beachgoers and fishermen. And he's not like harmful or anything. And I'm assuming he's coming up on his time to come pop back up because the last time he was seen was during the 1950s.
He'd been gone for a minute.
Yeah, been gone for a minute. So Claude might be one of our ocean aliens that's down there. You never know.
And then he just comes up the river every once in a while.
Yes. Okay, I'm going to apologize for probably pronouncing this not completely correctly, but our next one is the Amuhuluk. This is another sea creature, and this comes from the mythology of the Kalapuya people of Oregon. The creature is commonly associated with disease, fog, and even drowning.
Oh.
So kind of the opposite. It's said to have a body that resembles a western dragon with horns on its head, but the resemblance stops there, as it's commonly described as being spotted with tufts of fur stuck out all in odd places. Which I'm like, if he's swimming around, yeah, that makes sense.
Fluffy snake? Yeah.
Fluffy snake thing going on. I love this. Whenever he steps, the ground turns soft. It can change form, but they also like to take unsuspecting people and animals into its lake to drown them. The story has scared children for decades, and understandably so. Some tales even say that this monster spears children with its horns and drags them down underwater.
Oh, super lovely.
Went from like Casper the Friendly Ghost guy to scary.
Right?
But yeah, I thought it was interesting that they had a couple different like Nessie-esque type of monsters. So we're going to move over to our myths now. Our two sources are onlyinyourstate.com and Best Local Things. So the first one is one that came up a lot when I was looking through lists and stuff. It is the haunting of Hecata Head Lighthouse. So at this lighthouse, the ghost of an old woman and her daughter haunt this property. Nearly everyone who has stayed at the lighthouse since the 1950s have experienced paranormal activity, including things like disembodied screams, items moving or disappearing, and the reflection of an old woman's ghost in an attic window.
Those are not the same levels of energy. Like,
those are scary.
disembodied screams. And then also maybe your pencil moves.
Right. So our next one is the Flavel House. This is a mansion turned museum in Astoria and is said to be haunted by the ghosts of the family that once lived there. The Flavels have made their phantom presence known by speaking amongst themselves and practicing music in empty rooms. A woman's ghost has also been sighted in the hallway, and Mr. Flavel has been seen in his bedroom before vanishing.
I like that this family just decided to stay, like as a family.
Yeah, they're like, no.
They're like, we built this house, get the fuck out. Or don't get the fuck out, we'll just stay here as well.
We're gonna all haunt it together. Aww.
I love that. Unless they all died in some weird, tragic way together. And then I'm like...
Yeah, don't quote us on that. We haven't deep dived on that yet. All right, our next one is Battery Russell's Ghost Soldier. The historic Fort Stevens State Park is haunted by the ghost of a soldier who patrols the area at night holding a flashlight. There are many stories recounting encounters with the man who, when approached, disappears into thin air. Aw, he's just protecting. Isn't
I like that.
That's like so cute.
I always like the ones that are like soldier ghosts.
Yeah. All right, the next one is the creepy history of Oregon State Hospital. So, according to the story, years ago, this hospital in Salem was an insane asylum where, oh my God, big shock, terrible malpractices were occurring. Who would have thought?
Not insane asylums in the United States. Those are nice places.
Definitely, especially in the 1800s.
Oh, the best of times for them.
Which is when this was built.
Of course.
To make it even worse, this place had secret underground tunnels connected to buildings. Where, who would have thought, but guess what? Terrible experiments were said to have happened down here in these tunnels with patients. Shock, shock, shock.
Right.
Part of the hospital was preserved as a museum, and to this day, visitors claim experiencing the paranormal and having weird, eerie feelings that they're being watched. You know, the normal asylum haunts we get. And if you've been there and you have stories, let us know, because love to know. So our next one is at the Grand Lodge located in Forest Grove. And this is said to be one of the most haunted places in the state. Staff and guests alike have reported seeing a woman with white hair, slippers, and a patterned dress. The descriptions of the ghost match a large portrait of a woman hanging on the premises. One common explanation is that the apparition is the ghost of a woman named Anna who lived there for many years and died just before she turned 100 years old.
Damn, Anna.
Right. So the next one is the Kuhn Theater. This is located in Lebanon. This theater was built in 1932. The ghost is said to be haunted by a young girl in a white dress who fell from the theater's balcony to her death.
Oh, shit.
Right? Isn't that awful? Visitors and staff of the theater claim to experience strange activity like doors opening and closing by themselves and the disembodied laughter of children, which is like, that makes it sad. I mean, it's creepy, but it also makes it like really sad.
True.
And speaking of tunnels, the next thing we're going to talk about is Portland's Shanghai tunnels. This is said to be one of the most haunted places in America. This is located underneath the streets of the old town. These tunnels were used between 1850 to 1941 for illegal activity, including human trafficking.
Oh.
Awful. Many people died in the dark, dingy tunnels, leaving their ghosts behind. You can now tour these tunnels, and many have heard phantom voices talking, moaning, and screaming. No, thank you. That sounds scary as fuck.
You know, there's tunnels under Red Bluff.
Yes, I knew that. Yes.
I always think of them.
No thanks.
Because, like, if it's going to be at a place like Red Bluff, it could be anywhere. Tunnels, man.
I know. Moving on to UFO sightings. So there's one in particular that was mentioned in quite a few articles, was the McMinnville UFO sighting. So in 1950, one of the most famous UFO photographs was taken on a farm near McMinnville. The controversial photograph shows what looks to be a flying saucer in the sky and was printed in newspapers and magazines, including Life magazine, all across the country. To this day, no one really knows the truth. Could it be a UFO? Could it be something else? Who knows? The next one is at Malheur Butte. This is a dead volcano in eastern Oregon with a shadowy past full of dark magic. It's said that witches used to meet here to perform rituals, and strange imp-like creatures have been seen to appear in the night and scare visitors away. Oh my god, you know what? That totally makes me think of like when we have done like the mountain witches and stuff from like Japanese folklore. I'm like, they just witches and they just scare you because they want you to go away.
It's true. It's true. They want quiet. They want nice,
right?
Quiet people around.
All right, so in Oregon, there is the Geyser Grand Hotel haunting. This historic hotel and Baker City landmark is also the site of paranormal activity. People have reported seeing ghosts on many occasions. The hotel even offers ghost tours on Halloween. And the most famous ghost who lives here is called Lady in Blue, who's supposed to have been sighted walking up and down the main staircase dressed in a turn-of-the-century gown. She's just trying to party.
I know, like, leave her alone, people. Leave her be.
Right? Let her live her life. We have another hotel on our list. It is Hot Lake Hotel in La Grande. So this hotel is located near a hot spring, and it was originally built in the mid-19th century and then was converted into a hospital that was destroyed in a fire. After that, it was rebuilt into another asylum before it closed down seemingly for good. Years later, the decrepit building was renovated and turned into Hot Lake Hotel. With a history like that, it seems natural that guests have reported various ghost stories, including hearing fleeting, sourceless piano music, ghost sightings, and strange clouds of fog that will appear suddenly.
Just people who build things from asylums.
Why would you build a hotel on something like that? Awful idea.
For surezies.
Now moving on to our other article, we just have a couple more. So the next one revolves around Lafayette Cemetery, which is located in Lafayette, Oregon. This is a brought up area because in the late 18th century, a woman from the area was accused of being a witch. She was sentenced to be hanged for her crimes, but before she died, she cursed the town, saying it would burn to the ground 3 times. Since her death, the town has burnt twice. Her ghost continues to haunt the cemetery, and ghost hunters have caught her voice on tape shouting for them to go home.
If I lived there, I'd be totally afraid that my house is going to be the one that caused, like, the third burn down.
Yeah. The third fire? Like, no.
Because she didn't say how long. She just said eventually, like, 3 times.
Right. So, to wrap us up for today, we're going to talk about the Jansen Beach Carousel. So, From the 1920s until the 70s, Jansen Beach Amusement Park on Hayden Island was a widely popular tourist attraction. Tons of issues occurred while it was open, including fires and several deaths that led to the park's demise. The space was then used for a mall, which actually featured the park's original carousel. But in 2012, when the mall underwent renovations, the old carousel was put in storage. Then the strangest things began to happen. In 2015, when city officials went to retrieve the old carousel to put it back in the mall, it was gone. There's various reports about the whereabouts of this mysterious carousel, but either way, there's certainly some spooky, strange things happening there.
Somebody stole an entire carousel.
Like, for real. Oh my god. That's fucking great. I love that. Oh my god.
Could you imagine? Just like the whole carousel, just boom, gone.
Damn. If you have it, I won't tell anyone, but I'd love to know that you have it.
Right? Like, we won't tell. If you let us come see it, especially won't tell anyone.
We'll just be like, I don't know. We just woke up and here it was. And then poof, gone.
It could be like they put a hood over our head and then drive us with sensory blocking things.
I love it. All right. Well, that is going to go ahead and wrap up this week's episode. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. There's tons more. And this is honorable mention. There's a story of the bandage man that's really creepy, but I think he may be able to be a whole episode. So any people from Oregon want that story, let us know. We'll do it. But with that, we'll go ahead and sign off and we'll see you next week. Bye, guys.
Toodles.